I used to think that having an art business meant you got to draw and paint and block print all day long, every day. Boy, was I wrong. You've probably had this experience. You made a piece of artwork, you're super proud of it, and someone says to you, you should sell that. It's a pretty great feeling. It's this feeling that a validation, that somebody sees your work, that they appreciate your work, and that they believe in you. They want to see your work out there in the world. And it's amazing to hear. And it's such a nice thing for someone to say. This has happened to me. And I'm sure it's happened to you because whenever anybody makes something and they put all of their love and their creativity and their excitement into it, people love that. They love connecting with other people through their artwork. And if you've been lucky enough to have that moment, the next thought in your head is, why not me? Why couldn't I make my artwork and my art into a business? And the answer is you absolutely can. But what they don't tell you and what you probably don't think about in that moment is that you're not going to be making artwork all day, every day and magically selling your work. It would be great if you did. But my experience has been you create some work and then you spend a lot of time doing all the other tasks related to getting that work sold, licensed, into your Etsy store, into the hands of the people who told you they liked your work and it should be out there in the world. So in that dream where you take your artwork and you make it your job, here's what we all think, right? I'm an artist. I have all my art supplies around me. I have my favorite paper, my favorite mediums, maybe my iPad. I have a cozy setup. I have lighting that's perfect. I have coffee next to me. And then I draw. Oh man, it sounds great. I mean, I did that for about an hour yesterday, but that was the first hour that I had done that in a long time. So the reality is you might get that 1 hour to create that incredible work that lights you up. And that's fantastic. Good. But then you have to put in all the effort to take that work from your sketchbook, from your iPad, from Adobe Illustrator, from wherever you created it, and get it out into the world. And that is the boring part about having an art business, if you're me. That's the part where you're on your computer and you're battling with your Etsy listings. Or maybe you're trying to figure out which print-on-demand product provider to use, or you've got your sample back and it's ugly and you have to start over again. That is the real hard part about having an art business. Not to mention the fact that we all live in this era where we're shouting into a void that is social media and YouTube. And we're trying to get people to listen, to see, to invest, to want to be with us, to want to follow our process and our journey. That is the hard part. I am not here to convince you to not have an art business. I just want you to hear some of the pros and some of the cons behind having one for yourself. So the first one, freedom. We all want it. We want time freedom, location freedom. We want to be free to create what we want to create. And you can do that if you have an art business of your own. My next pro, and this is a big one, it is building something that is truly and authentically yours. You don't have a boss who's telling you what to do. You have the best boss, yourself, and you better make sure you stay the best boss. You don't want to be a crappy boss if you're your own boss. And you get to create your own thing and put it out into the world. And you get to do that from 9 to 5 or from 11 to 7, whatever you want. You get to do that and you get to make it yours and you get to know you built this thing and you made it work and you saw the potential in yourself and you made it happen. And my third pro is, quite frankly, the financial possibility. You could make no money. Let's be honest. But on the other hand, you could make an infinite amount of money. And I don't want you to focus on the money at first because it takes a long time to get there. But there is so much potential in building something yourself. And there's a lot of risk in it, but there can also be a huge amount of reward. And for me, it's taking a very, very long time. My business grows at basically a snail's pace. But year over year, I have been making more money each year, even though it started out as I made no money. I made $100 this year. I made $300. I made $500. I made $1,000. It's not enough for me to live off of, which is why I do it in the margins of my life, but I'm making progress and I can see things are working and it's something I'm building. And I have a lot of excitement and pride, and it's given me more self-belief than I've had in the past. And so that is an enormous pro to having your own art business. Okay, now let's talk about some cons. Remember that hook I said at the beginning of the video? You are going to have to spend more time on your business than on making your artwork. If there are people out there who have figured out a way to spend more time making art than they do on their business, please comment. Please tell me how you did that. But the reality is, I spend way more time working on the business side of my business than making the artwork. The second con I want to talk about is the pressure we all put on ourselves to monetize everything. Everything. The amount of time and the amount of energy that I put into thinking about new products that could be monetized. When I think about it, it really makes me depressed. But that is one of the stresses and one of the pressures of having your own art business. At the end of the day, if it's a business, it needs to make money. And we can get caught in the trap of trying to make everything that we create monetizable. And there is a place for that. But I think if you can get out of your head and really spend time making the things that bring you joy, that you see excitement from your peers or your fellow artists or your customers, then that can be a really amazing thing to hold on to. And try to think of that when you're on the I need to monetize everything right now train. But there is a lot of pressure in trying to monetize everything you do when you're an artist. So then the last question is, and this could be a pro or a con, is taking your beloved art and turning it into a business right for you. If you love problem solving, if you love figuring out how to do something new and innovative, it might be for you. Do you have time and energy to maybe not make enough money right now? Maybe you have another job so it can kind of support your art business. That's what I have right now and probably will for a very long time, to be honest. I love my job, but I love my art too, and I want to do both. Someday, maybe they'll flip, but I don't know. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the unknown because I have the consistency and the stability of my full-time job. So I have to spend a lot of time thinking about whether or not this kind of uncertainty is for you. And if maybe it's not, like for me, then you can find a way to kind of prop things up and make it more certain. So have another job, have something that's stable to keep you going until you feel okay with, taking that prop away or taking the training wheels off, if you will, and moving forward with the thing you love, with full vigor. Okay. That's all I have to say on the topic, really. But what I really want you to know is that there's no right way to have an art business. You can do it however you want and whatever feels right to you. If you have an art business of your own or you're thinking about creating one, I'd love it if you left in the comments what you do. Tell me about yourself. I want to know more. I want to know if this video was helpful. These are all going to be super low key. This is as fancy as it's going to get, but I want this to be a dialogue. I want to hear from you. And especially if you're going to take that leap, I want to know all about it and I want to be there to support you. Okay, I'll see you next time.